Hello, it's a privilege to come your way today. My name is Christopher Obebo, and today the topic will be empowered to become the place of talent and skills. For a while now, we've been discussing empowerment to become, empowered to become, and the first part we talked about the place of enlightenment. I said enlightenment has a role to play in empowering you to become what you were ordained to be. Enlightenment being the fusion of knowledge, the fusion of understanding, the fusion of wisdom. The second thing that God brings your way in enlightening you to become is relationship. And I did mention that it could be relationship from superior to subordinates. It could be relationship among friends. It could be relationship among colleagues, among neighbors. It could even be marital relationship between husband and wife or relationship with the family between siblings. Today, empowered to become, the focus will be on the place of talent and skills. Now, for very many people, the empowerment to become is not necessarily coming from outside. No, it is already resident within them as talents. Now, these talents are natural abilities from birth, such as singing, such as creativity. There are people that when you give them a small space, when you look at the way they are going to design that place, you will know that well, this is a creative person. Some other person will not maximize their place. Another of such talent is leadership. There are people that wherever they find themselves, without pretense, they just naturally take the leadership position. In some other times, people will just appoint them to leadership position without them advocating for it. Another of such talent is what I would call organization. There are people that are very good planning things, even without you having to pay them. When there are events to do in the family, they take up organization, they do it excellently. When there are things to do in their workplace, they organize it, they dot all the I's, they cross all the T's, they are very good at that. That's a talent. And for some other person, the talent is empathy. They just have this natural feeling for people. They go out of their way to inconvenience themselves to see that the other person smile. And where they are, wherever they find themselves, people readily come to them. People feel drawn to them to explain their situations to them. And having spoken with those people for a while, those people feel relaxed that their burdens have been taken off. That is a talent. And for some other persons, they just have this courage. They are daring. They dare a lot of things. And you'll be wondering that this person does not have any form of backup, does not have any form of security. They dare things that people who are even better placed, who have better resources will not dare. And sometimes when they look at the things they've done or that they've dared, they will know that well, this is not pretending, it's just there. Those are actually talents. On the other hand, skills are abilities that are developed through training, through learning, and through practice. So, for you to become skillful at something, you must learn, you must train, and you must keep practicing. And examples of skills include, of course, accounting. You can become skillful in accounting. You can acquire skills in coding. You can acquire skills in fashion designing. You can acquire skills in creative writing. So, though God gives talents as seeds, He expects you to put in the required efforts to grow this talent into skills. And this is why there is a popular saying that talent is not enough. It is not enough to be talented. You need to put in the effort to move from being talented to being skillful. In the book of Exodus 31 from verse 1 to 5, Exodus 31 verse 1 to 5, God introduced a man to Moses by the name Bezalel. He gave this man talent in craftsmanship. And with this talent, Bezalel naturally understood designs and metalworks. Nonetheless, for him to take on the massive project of building the resources that will be needed in the tabernacle. He had to move from being talented to being skillful. And this movement had to be by practicing, by continuously refining his skills, by practicing and continuously refining his skills. Because your talent, those talent that you are having in you, they are actually clues pointing to those areas where your becoming is tied to. For many of you, as you began to grow, people began to take note of this talent in you and they began to discuss them with you. But for many, you felt that, oh, those talents were too small, that they were not significant in your journey of becoming, and you neglected them. You forsook them, and you went to concentrate on other things. May I tell you that on the journey to becoming, you are not to focus on what you don't yet have. You are to focus on what you have. Focus on what you have first. Pay attention to what you have. Look at Moses when he was standing face to face with the Red Sea and the Egyptian hosts were approaching behind. In that desperation, he cried to God, and God redirected him back inward. He asked him, what is in your hand? What do you have with you? So the rod was with Moses all this while. That was, he stood for empowerment, but he was looking outside. As you develop your talents, God then enlifts you into craftsmanship. As you develop the talent, the abilities that He has embedded on the inside of you, He now enlists you into craftsmanship one way or the other. So, what is craftsmanship? Basically, it is the ability to create or build something with precision and care, particularly something you that is hands-on, or to do something in a very creative or artistic way. And these craftsmen and women, they are found in almost every aspect of human endeavor. So you have craftsmen and women in what? In construction and building. And you have them in that industry like painters, like masons, like carpenters. In art and design, you have these craftsmen as sculptors, graphic designers, textile artists, calligraphers. In fashion and design, you have these craftsmen as tailors, leather workers, people that work on what? On bags, on shoes. You have them as jewelry makers, people that work on what? On your hand chain, your neck chain, your leg chain. In the field of technology and innovation, you have these craftsmen as engineers, you have them as technicians. Just to let you know that they are in every place. In the field of media and communications, you have them as writers, you have them as bloggers, you have them as editors, you have them as photographers, you have them as film editors, you have them as video editor. In the culinary art, you have them as chefs, you have them as bakers, you have them as wine tester, you have them as food stylists. In agriculture, you have them as gardeners, you have them as landscapers. You have them as beekeepers. You have them everywhere in every sector. People that work to design the backdrop of occasions. People that are able to work to build musical instruments, your guitar, the keyboard, the organ. They are all craftsmen and women working in several aspects. Now you may ask, now how can my talents help me to become what I was ordained to be? The first thing you need to do is to accept your talents as gift from God, because God wants you to become what He ordained you to be. And that was why He put those talents in you before you were born. He came with those talents. So you need to start by accepting them as gift from God, so that whatever talent you don't yet have now, know that in the estimation of God, the one that knew all things, knew that that talent is not important in your journey to becoming. It may be important for someone else, but for your own journey to become, that talent isn't important. And if there will be need for it, God will find a way around that talent will be provided in your journey to becoming. So don't stress yourself about what you don't yet have. Focus on what you have. Appreciate your uniqueness, your looks, your preferences, your personalities. They are meant to align with the talent on the inside of you. You also need to acknowledge that what this talent, this gift are meant to serve others. They are meant to meet the need of others. Therefore, you are to look for people and places where you can serve with this talent. Look for people and places where you can serve with this talent. And finally, you need to admit the reality that talent is not enough. And because talent is not enough, you need to refine, you need to learn, you need to acquire skill to become better at what God has gifted you to be. I'm going to mention an individual who identified the talent that she had and did not stop there, but refined them into skills and then served that as skill to a global audience. Her name is Angeze Gunese Bochaizo. Angeze Gunese Bozaizu, popularly known as Mother Teresa. From a very young age, she just had this deep empathy and nurturing abilities. Mother Teresa for you. Her heart was unusually drawn to the sick, the poor, the vulnerable, and those who were usually left or ignored by others. Now, having identified these talents, she now nurtured them into skills. She identified that talent, then she nurtured them into skills by getting trained in caregiving. She acquired training in nursing and then training in spiritual guidance. So, because without training, her talent would have remained small. But because she acquired training, she became skilled, she was able to serve her talent to a global audience, leading to change of lives. Her life can be summarized in three words: compassion, humility, and service. Compassion, humility, and service. This talent that she had from the beginning, which she refined along the way, helped her to become what she was ordained to be. Because in her lifetime, she lived for 87 years. But in that one lifetime, she became what many people could not become in several lifetimes put together. In the space of 87 years that she lived, she became what many people could not become in several lifetimes put together. In the year 1979, for instance, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. Mother Teresa won the Nobel Peace Prize for her works in the year 1979. The year after, the year 1980, she received the highest award, the highest civilian award in India, awarded by President Neelam S. Reddy. Then, 3 years after that, the year 1983, she was honored with the Order of Merit by Queen Elizabeth II of England. 2 years after, that's 1985, she received the United States Presidential Medal of Freedom from the then US President Ronald Reagan. And in the year 2016, 19 years after her passing, 19 solid years after her passing, she was canonized as saint, declared Saint Teresa of Calcutta by Pope Francis. Now, all of these are aside several organizations, several foundations, several hospitals, several churches, several schools named after her, as well as several books written in her honor, several movies and plays that were done in her honor. Several places across the world named after her. All of this because of her talents, compassion, humility, and service. So I want to say to you, don't focus on what you don't yet have. Begin with what you have. What's on the inside of you is enough to empower you to become what you were ordained to be. As you subject it to continuous refinement, to continuous learning, and continuous practice, I encourage you to start today. What you need to become, God has given to you. You just need to subject them to continual development. And I see you becoming what you were ordained to be. Thank you so much for your time. And I say, God bless you. Don't forget to head over to Chris Odebo on YouTube, subscribe, like, and drop your comment. Once again, thank you.